Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And guys, if you happen to catch the Twitch stream last night, you already know this. I am absolutely cooked. I have been cooked by the sun. Not cucked, just cooked. I am obliterated by the sun. So it is pretty it's great. It's great. So anyway, I apologize. I don't know what happened, but my computer just decided to stop detecting the microphone. So I had to fiddle around with stuff and get that fixed. But on the good news for me is I'm not currently having a heat allergy reaction, and I'm doing rather well with the heat in Florida. Some people are asking about that, but it's going rather well. The sunburn, however, is not, and I'll tell you the story very briefly. Because if you weren't on the Twitch show last night where we watched American Ninja, God, that's great. We watched American Ninja last night. If you don't know, you haven't heard the story. So I will tell it in just a minute as to why. I mean, look at this. Do you see that? Look at that. Look at that. Oh, God. Oh, it's terrible. I am absolutely hot. It is toasty. So I'm actually cold, which is weird because I don't know if it must be something with my skin being 10,000 degrees that any like light breeze over it makes me bust into cold shivers. But this is great. So here's let me quickly preview what we're going to talk about tonight, and then I'll tell the story, and then we'll get into it. Anis Abdin has lost his appeal. That's most of that story, but we'll go through and talk a little bit about it and why I think it's unfortunate. But it's how copyright works. That's the problem. What is up with the viewers? Like, the YouTube viewer count is going absolutely bananas. So I don't know what is going on with it. It might not be messed up on your end, but it just apparently half of you decided to stop watching just now. I don't know. It's going up and down like crazy. But yeah, so Anis lost. We'll talk about why he lost his appeal, which again I think is a little bit of a mess because I think if you look at his product and you look at his product and you look at the Star Trek Discovery tardigrades arc, you will see way too many similarities for it to be coincidence, but maybe it is, right? That's how it goes. We've got Jussie Smollett, and actually it's not really Jussie Smollett, it's more about Kim Davis. And why that situation is stupid. But we'll take a look at that. We've got the post office. Everybody's whining about the post office. I don't know much about what's going on with it, although since everybody's bitching about the post office in terms of politics, we'll be talking about the post office. Is everybody getting... The stream says it's up. Oh my God. The bandwidth is so low. What is happening here? Just a minute, guys. This is... Something has gone wonky. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, we got to fix something here. So, just a second. Just a second. This is going to be dumb. I will be right back. The Streamlabs had another stealth update, apparently, and changed the maximum bitrate from 6,500 down to 1,600. So, I will be back in just a moment. You don't have to go anywhere. Everything will be back in just a moment. Hold on. I believe we're back. I believe we're back now. Everything should be much, much better. So if you were getting really low resolutions and stuff at first, I apologize. I don't know what was going on with that. Woo! Here we go. Okay, I'm back on the recording. I had to restart the recording as well. So. All right. So, I don't know what's going on, but everything should be okay. I don't know. Yeah, the viewer count is going nuts. Everything's stupid. Yes, refresh, and it should resync everything. I'll wait just a minute for everything to get get fixed. Refresh it. The if your stuff is messed up, refresh it. So, okay. All right, we're going to be talking about Trump. I did a video on Snowden earlier. I think we should maybe spend a little bit of time talking about Snowden. Trump has some interesting things to say about it. If you didn't see the video I did earlier today about Trump potentially pardoning Snowden, we may need to talk about that. Even my YouTube thing is going nuts right now. But yeah, as far as Streamlabs, my upload is very stable, so that's great. Yeah. He's not pardoning him. He might not pardon him. That is true. I'm gonna put this pop filter on because, well, everything else is stupid. I hope you can hear that pop filter being screwed on. It'll be great. It'll be great. Come on. Oh my goodness. Everything is terrible. I hate all of it. Apparently this... Just sit on the mic then. The foam doesn't actually work very well. This is a... No. I hate it. I hate it. Everything's broke. Okay, it might stay. It might stay. I never called myself a professional ever. That's a pejorative term used by someone else. What is up with this? The little flexi pop filter thing is apparently broken. That's great. Anyway. Stop moving. It's just slowly drifting out of the frame. Stop it. This is what I have to put up with. These cheap materials. This is why I don't like these pop filters. But I got a boom arm to get my microphone. Here, we'll do it this way. We'll put the microphone. That's better. This is a much better stream. This is where it belongs. I don't even want to be on camera. Here, I'll talk over here. Anyway. Okay. We'll talk a little bit about Snowden. And then, you know, there's all sorts of other stuff going on, including the Remington bankruptcy, how that relates to the Sandy Hook cases that are going on. All of that stuff. So YouTube is seriously just booting people off the stream. This is great. I love it. I'm on my end, everything's good. This is funny. Whew. Millie Weaver. What about her? She got arrested. She's charged with burglary and assault or something, right? I don't know. Do we have a charging document on her yet? Millie Weaver. Yeah, I know. That's what I just said. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's probably what's happening. Is the DNC thing still going? I bet that thing is eating bandwidth alive. Yeah. There's not really much to talk about on the Millie Weaver being arrested thing. At first it was she was arrested by a phantom thing, but I mean, if the charges are burglary, well then we should assess those charges based on what allegedly happened. Right? I know there's the conspiracy angle that she was arrested because of a documentary from InfoWars or something like that. That she's working on, but you know, we'll see. But maybe we'll talk about that. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Anyway, I was talking about the Remington bankruptcy. Remington has filed for bankruptcy and is asking a judge to auction off many of its assets, which would be different production houses and stuff like that, and entire companies of Remington, and that would potentially cut out any of the Sandy Hook families from any possible judgments they might win. And those are possible and might are really low. The theory of liability that they have, I covered this a long time ago on the show, but the families, the Sandy Hook families are suing Remington on the theory that their advertisement for their gun caused the Newtown, Connecticut shooting, which, if you think about it, is insane. Actually insane. Because they didn't advertise that you could shoot up a school with a gun. That's one of the big problems with it. The other problem is the kid, Adam Lanza, who shot up young adult, the cis white male Adam Lanza, who shot up the school at Newtown, didn't buy the gun. He murdered his mother and stole it from her. So it's hard for me to accept the concept that the gun was purchased for the purpose of shooting up a school based on an advertisement that someone saw, when the person who used the gun to shoot up the school didn't discriminately acquire the gun. They didn't. Maybe there was a rack of rifles, and Adam Lanza was like, you know what? I saw an advertisement that said this gun is good for shooting up kids, so I'll steal this one and not the Smith & Wesson or the SIG. I mean, that's a dumb theory, but that's the theory they're going for. And it's a long line. People have been forever trying to get a products liability claim on gun manufacturers, because the sad reality is that most of the people who shoot someone else don't have enough money to extract to make up for the economic value, not to mention the emotional value of the person who was killed. And that is just that's just a reality. If you kill a child, for example, and this is a cold lawyerly way to look at it, but they have a life expectancy of 82 or 79 or whatever it is if you're a male, 82 if you're a female. It might be more now, it might be less, I don't know. But you have a life expectancy of, another X amount of years, and then they can apply a theory with even a minimum wage formula, and over a 40-year or 30-year work life, they can determine the economic value of someone. And that's what wrongful death cause of action use as part of the damages, is what is the economic value of this person? Which is why if you kill an Uber driver versus killing the CEO of a major company, for example, the wrongful death award is much lower for the Uber driver, because they're expected to make much less money over the period of their life than, say, like a banking CEO or something, right? That person would be expected to make multiple millions of dollars per year. And if they've got, 25 working years left, that could be a huge amount. So but if you get around having to deal with the killer's pockets, which are often shallow, because filthy rich people tend to not be, they're certainly not mass shooters very often, and they're not shooters very often in general. Like, not too many murders outside of the family that would result in some sort of wrongful death suit. Those tend to not be the demographic of your average murder. They do happen, of course. But if you get around that and you can get to the manufacturer of the gun, I mean, they have company deep pockets. They can pay out a $2 million award based on a liability insurance policy. They can pay out a $10 million award or something like that, is the idea. And they could pay out beyond any specific insurance policies award. They could be ordered to pay even more, and they would actually have access to that money in theory. Now, they may go out of business, and that's probably the goal, but that's, so we're going to talk a little bit about the Remington thing, but let me tell you the sunburn story. It's great. It's causing me much grief and despair right now. I will say, I have to point that out. I am smiling, but on the inside, I am crying. You don't know how bad it truly is. So, I'm down in Florida visiting my family, and letting the kids get a lot of grandparent time in, because COVID has ruined the time that we would otherwise have gotten to spend with grandparents. So, the other day we took a boat with some friends out to a island in Florida, and the island had a beach where a bunch of people could take a boat over to the island and go on the beach, and then you can swim in water, which is cool, or play in sand, or get stung by jellyfish, of which there were many. So we get over there, and it's really windy. The wind coming in from the ocean, which also made very choppy surf, but lots of wind. So I'm spraying sunscreen all over like normal, but it apparently just blew away. Rather than land on my body, it blew off in certain chunks. I have large streaks of pallid white all over, and then intermittent streaks of deep crimson red where the sunscreen just decided to blow away. It was great. I hate it. There's now it's just aftercare until my entire skin peels off like the serpent lawyer that I am. But that's how it goes. So that's why, spray is easier, but that's one of the drawbacks. Because there's nothing I hate more in life than rubbing sun lotion all over the place. I have hated it since I was a child. I don't like lotion in any capacity. I am not a lotion fan. I don't like lotioning my hands. I don't like that soft, puffy hand feeling. I don't like lotion anywhere. Just get away. Go away, lotion. I want to feel like skin, not like something else. I hate it. I hate it. So when they invented the spray sunscreen, I was like, oh, thank God. I can just mist this crap onto my body and be protected from the sun. It's what I use pretty much all the time. However, there was no shelter from the wind at this particular beach, so I got cooked. I got cooked. It's great. What about lube? If you're using lotion for lube, you might have to go to a hospital. Anyway, so that said, I hate lotion, so I didn't, so we bought the spray stuff, and I have paid the ultimate price for it. I have paid the ultimate price. So. Anyway. But for now, I'm extremely uncomfortable. Is there going to be a watch party tonight? Marmadouche. Great name. Yes. Yes. I think we may continue. I'm debating between starting season 2 of Blue Mountain State, which the people who've hung around to watch it really do seem to enjoy it. I love the show. I think it's hilarious. Or Gleaming the Cube with Christian Slater. One of those two. One of those two. So we're talking about it. Also, I have installed Space Marine. So I think starting tomorrow, I'm going to, because I need to figure out a slightly different keyboard setup. I don't like using this laptop keyboard on the chair that I have is too low and stuff. I'm whining, I know, but I'm going to figure out a different keyboard solution. And then I think we're going to play the Space Marine story mode straight through. Straight through. So, should be fun times. Okay, what else is there? Is there anything else? I mean, there's so much going on. There's so much going on. Oh, yes. Let me see. How do I word this? I'm basically, unless there are major updates, I'm not really going to talk too much more about the revenge porn stuff in Virginia involving Ethan Ralph. And there's a couple reasons why, but let me get to the main ones. Whenever I talk about it, people completely misunderstand what I say. And in fact, often, if you read what they're quoting, they're not even paying attention to what I say. And they're doing it, I think, because of their own perceived sort of morality or justice or whatever it is. And that's okay. That's okay. But I can't add to that discussion anymore. I've laid out the elements that are required to prove a criminal cause of action. And until there's a charge or something else, there's just no other point in really talking about it. So I'm not going to talk about it too much. So as of announcing this, I fully assume that I will be inundated with a bunch of gun guarding accusations, and that's fine. Go ahead. I don't really care. I don't know how to help you understand that the criminal process works in a specific way, not on the way that you might want it to, and not on the way that we as a society might want it to either. But people want very simple answers because it's the internet, but there aren't simple answers in criminal cases. That being said, I have seen that Faith's dad has retained I should say, I'll stop talking about it after this show until there's a major update. Faith's dad has allegedly retained counsel and is going after something. He has heavily hinted that, or I don't know if retained counsel is, he said he talked to a lawyer or got a lawyer or something like that. And he has hinted that, that there will be some criminal action or something, or they're pursuing it. I don't know. But one of the things he said that was very curious is that how did he word it? He wanted to clear their family's name. And let me remove this from him. And let me suggest something to you guys. If you are trying to report a crime, and that crime involves intimidation, harassment, or coercion, for example, right? If you're trying to get a criminal action going based on these legal concepts, and then you go online and you talk about bringing a criminal action or making a criminal complaint to quote unquote clear your family's name, that's not what the law is there to protect. And so if I were a defense attorney, hypothetically, and a potential witness and a potential state's witness, specifically in my criminal case, were out talking about the reasons they are trying to go after my client, okay? And those reasons are unrelated to the statute that's written, I would save that, and I would, as a defense attorney, I would raise it as part of the impropriety of the suit in the first place. I would be hammering on the fact that the state is going after my client for something, for a personal vendetta for someone else because of actions that they perceive to be immoral but aren't illegal, for example. Now, again, this is a big and a complicated story, but there is a reason that they talk about not talking about your lawsuit online. And I have some people might think they're contradictory positions on it, but they're not. I believe that public people should talk about their lawsuits quite often because I believe that public people can leverage their publicity. In fact, in defamation actions, for example, it's expected that general purpose public figures do, just by mere presence or just by their existence, leverage their status to influence people on an issue. And that's why there's greater restrictions to their lawsuits. Okay. But if you're not a public person, you probably shouldn't be talking about it. And in either case, you shouldn't be talking about it without advice of an attorney on what you should say, because some of these things that have been said online by both parties, or by all parties to this thing, by everybody, including by the weird ex-boyfriend. The dad has denounced really heavily, by the way. things said by all parties in this thing are damaging to everybody, and everybody should stop talking until they have an attorney advising them on what to say. That's where it is. But I will say I talked with Ty a little bit on Friday, if you were here for that show, and that segment was completely misunderstood. And I guess that's my failure. I was not saying that Ethan Ralph should bring causes of action against people on Kiwi farms. So if that's what you got out of that, I apologize for my failure in not explaining it. I didn't ever use those words. I don't believe, but people got that impression anyway. What I was suggesting was that under the standards, and it was a little tongue-in-cheek, but it's not really tongue-in-cheek. Under the standards set out in the law, right, in the Virginia statute, that people want to apply to Ethan Ralph, some people disseminating the video for the purpose of harassing Ralph, if they were doing that, would be subject to the same questions that people are wanting to apply to Ralph. And so I advised everyone to exercise caution in how they do that. Again, if your intent is criticism and mockery and all of that stuff that is roundly deserved by anyone who puts out a sex tape, criticize and mock away. But if you cross over into that land of harassment, intimidation, or coercion, it could be a problem for you. Now, is anybody going to get charged in this? Probably not. But I want to clarify one thing. If Ralph indeed released that video, if he did, it doesn't matter if he released it or not. That's the definition of dissemination, was it already released? And again, this is the Virginia law, and it's specific only to Virginia people. But even if it's released, if you don't have similar permission to release it as whoever has released it prior to you, then you can't, how do I say this? Then you are potentially in violation of the statute. Again, there are 4 parts of the test, and permission is only one part of it. But the excuse of someone else released it first isn't actually permission. And you can think about it in copyright terms, right? Avengers: Age of Ultron was released. It was disseminated by Marvel to millions and millions of people. If you re-upload on a 50 subscriber YouTube channel Avengers: Age of Ultron as your original work and disseminate it to 50 people without the permission of Marvel, you have still disseminated that footage without a license. Without license, without permission. License is legal permission. So if you do that, you would be in violation of the copyright. And you can't argue, well, they already distributed it. Well, you don't have the permission to do so. So again, am I suggesting that anyone at all is going to go to jail? No, I think it's unlikely that anyone in this scenario will go to jail at all. I think it's unlikely that we'll see any charges, and this will probably just fade away. I could be wrong, and if I am, it'll be interesting to see what happens because of it, and we'll follow along at that time. Do I think that anyone is going to be civilly sued? I mean, unless Faith's dad tries to sue Ralph, I doubt it. Do I think Ralph would be suing anybody in this case? No, I don't really think he has grounds to at this point. But what I was trying to do again was make a statement about when you're looking at laws in entirely the hypothetical and you're looking at the elements, you have to consider all of the other times that those elements could apply. And yeah, it's just an interesting sort of idea to think that, oh man, if someone else were to do this, then, for example, the victim of the crime might not be Faith in that time. It might be Ralph if someone else were to do it. But this is legal theorizing, and it is not meant to be taken as what people will see happen in any way. It was just kind of an interesting idea and thought I had about it. And some people took it way too far. And some people who read or who listened didn't listen at all or listened through the lens of, I don't know how to word this politely, severe autism, and not in the joking way, like without any sort of hint of nuance or irony or even comedy that it was intended. But that being said, I'm going to no longer talk about it unless there are major things going on, because every time I do, I get a million people flipping out in the comment section and stuff like that. And while I like interactivity, this interactivity is getting very boring. So, that being said, let's do super chats, and then we will get into some of the shows. Oh, I've got some reporting from the peaceful paradise that is Portland. We've got some, you've probably seen some of this, but we're going to talk about it. And maybe we'll go through the elements of a simple battery. Because I, as an astute legal observer, have noticed that there may have been a simple battery that was committed. And I want to share with you guys the potential of a simple battery. Because it may have been missed in the video, and I will put my massive legal big brain that I'm currently sitting on right now in my brain throne. I will put that to work to show you guys a simple battery. Okay, so we've got Weirdo with a Cello says, since the title says everything, I assume that includes Vic. So as lemons. What is this? I dressed up in a red coat with a metal arm, but my wheezing chased away all the con sluts. And Ron with 17 body pillows says, that's why I'm 17 and 0. Squawk. I guess. I don't know if that was supposed to be a song. I want to address those emails that were tweeted out about Ron Toye. Or tweeted out by Ron Toye, some emails that he got. First of all, there's nothing to see here. Please back away. I definitely don't want the person who knows how to silence me to come after anyone or me, because I am intimidated and afraid. Those, if I had to guess what those emails were, maybe I can pull them up. Give me a second here. I think Ron tweeted them out. Ron Toye. Third. Here we go. God, what? You know, even when I'm trying to like do the right thing here and stand up for Ron, even though he doesn't deserve it in the slightest. But he's such an insufferable idiot that he makes it hard. Here we go. God, what a dummy. Is this it? Yeah, here. Here, let's, I don't know if you guys saw this. So, I have a Vic Stan trying to play games. At FBI Dallas. I have more of these emails this account has been sending. Who do I reach out to exactly to file a report? Hey, Ron, it's the FBI Cyber Crimes Division, you giant sack of garbage. Just go on the FBI cyber crimes or type in FBI email crime or literally anything, and there's a whole department dedicated to cyber crime. Cyber harassment, cyber stalking, cyber terrorism, all of that FBI cybercrime division. It's the most obvious division that you would go to, and they have a way to report. They have a number you can call. I think you can fill out an email form. It's really, really easy. But let me just suggest that if you bring this idiocy to the FBI Cybercrimes Division that you're not going to be pleased with the results when they go, is this a terrorist attack or are you just a whiny bitch? And you answer, I'm just a whiny bitch. And they go, click. The FBI doesn't care that someone pranked you with an email. But I love that you say it's a Vic Stan. You have no idea who it is. You have no idea who it is. Oh, while you're there, Ron, will you please report? I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but sometimes I get phone calls from someone saying my computer warranty is broken and it needs to be repaired immediately. Can you report that cybercrime too? Also, can you go ahead and report the auto insurance or the auto warranty fraud phone calls and emails that I get about every hour while the FBI is tackling your very important email fraud problem? Let's just go ahead and remember that almost every American gets some sort of fraudulent call, email, or text message every day, many times, multiple times a day, and the FBI doesn't care. Do you really think they care about a Weeb lawsuit, you dummy? God, Ron, this is why no one likes you. This is it. I'm going to call the FBI. No, you're not. First, you probably aren't even going to do it because you can't seem to figure out where the cybercrime division is. Second, if you did, nothing would come of it. Not a thing. Because of course it won't. You're unimportant. But anyway, I have more of these emails this account has been sending. Who do I reach out to exactly to file a report? So here we've got Mr. Toye. Either you know what materials I am referring to or you do not. If it was true, as you claim, that you have no knowledge of any such materials, then I certainly could not blackmail you. If you were to inform authorities of this correspondence, you would be put under scrutiny we both know you can't afford. Your threat is empty. Your soul is mine. I am amused to note the... Oh, wait. I had no intention of blackmailing you, but I can assure you that involving the feds will bear no fruit. See, the funny thing is, that line is true. Even if the person intended to blackmail Ron, that line is true. Because involving the feds in this would bear no fruit. This is unimportant. I am amused to note the smile that signifies that you are feeling stressed. Ron, don't be stressed. This is obviously just a dummy. Whoever this is an idiot. Why are you baited so easily by these people? I'm considering sending certain videos to the FBI. I do not betray clients. However, you have made it clear you no longer consider us associates. The temptation is strong, but it may be seen as displeasing precedent among my clients and associates. Our mutual associates do truly appreciate the funds you are able to funnel to them from Supreme Lending. They have been very helpful. Truly yours, Edith J. Robin Hood. Oh, I bet that's a real name. Obviously, this is nonsense. And we've got... who's he responding to? He's responding to Dominique Sky, who, of course, has blocked me. But you can tell that whatever he's responding to has definitely got to be top-level thinking. The highest of brain power was put into whatever tweet is hidden here. You can tell. I mean, heck, maybe... Hold on. Let's see. I mean, we can pull it up. We've got incognito mode. Oh, whoops, wrong one. There we go. That sounds like blackmail to me, Dominique Sky. It sounds like idiocy. That's what it is. It's not blackmail. It's probably trolling, and it's ill-advised. Again, I do not endorse or condone this activity. I think whoever did this is terribly stupid and should not be doing this at all. But it's not blackmail because they don't actually have anything. It could potentially be some sort of extortion if they, depending on what they're asking Ron to do. But they're not really asking him to do anything. How do we know? Well, here's the other emails. They look like they are trying to set up something against Vic Mignogna or me, but I do not take this lightly, and I want to move forward with an investigation. Ron! Ron! No one's gonna investigate this. Mr. Toye, we should talk. Does this mean you wish to be refunded for the material you purchased from me? I am not unreasonable. You will, of course, understand that that destruction of the pizza in question... Pizza? It's a Pizzagate joke. It's a Pizzagate joke. It's a fucking Pizzagate joke. Must be confirmed before a refund can be issued. I'm sorry to part ways, Mr. Toye, but wish you well in all your future enterprises. If I may ask, have you found an alternate provider with more appealing or more affordable product? If so, would you be willing to put me in contact with them? I'm always looking to widen my network and stay competitive in the pizza market. Will Monica wish a refund on the materials she purchased as well? Ron Toye. Pizza eating. What was the guy's name? God, I can't even remember the two brothers, the Pizzagate guys. I can't even remember it. Let's see. I think this one's going to be really hard for you to read, but I'll try and read it. Podesta, John Podesta, that's right. And his brother, the other Podesta. I think they're known as Pedoesta. All right, let's, I'm going to have to squint to read this one, but Mr. Toye, as my alias might suggest, I offer justice outside conventional bounds. I can help you regain control of the situation and your life in a way that your lawyers cannot. For instance, how might the time of your detractors on Twitter change if Mr. Mignogna was found to have child pornography and an FBI raid on his house? Similarly, imagine if Beard and Harris was bankrupted or otherwise made to go on with the unable to go on with the appeal process. Ooh, he's going to bankrupt Beard and Harris with the German engineering. Please understand that your lawyers and their actions are bound in ways that may not be in your best interest. I can make your wildest dreams come true. Sounds like a hand job. And very little is off the table. Of course, there are no strings leading back to you. I mean, except for a bunch of emails that he's now received at his email address. If this were real. I mean, come on. I am discreet and work only with professionals. Professionals who email someone to their public email address that I believe is probably a work email address that is likely auto-backed up because he works in the loan industry and it's regulated under several regulatory agencies, and they can't delete those emails from their internal servers, even if Ron were to delete it from his own computer, because to do so would violate regulatory requirements as far as lending goes. But, you know, I mean, come on. My rates are a bit higher than some others might be, but that's because I deliver the best service and an absolute guarantee of service, discretion, and that your name will never be tied to anything. The only place your name does or will exist is in this throwaway email and in my head. It's not a throwaway for Ron, though. Ron can't throw it away. So if something were to magically happen to like me, Vic, and Ty, guess what? something would tie back to Ron pretty quickly. You can trust me. For the position I occupy, betraying just one customer means losing all of my contacts. I have more to lose from betraying you than you do. I can help you set to rights and give you back your peace. Ooh. You're going to get it. It is so intensely stupid they thought this could work. Who's they? Mike, this guy is a complete moron, by the way. I mean, it assumes the pizza thing is true, and then it assumes that no one would have made changes once it was outed. Just an easy to see through scam that should land them behind bars. It was the dumbest thing I have read in a long time. That's why I'm contacting who needs to be contacted to get this taken care of. You're not going to get it taken care of, Ron. It's a Proton Mail account. It's a Proton Mail account. They're completely anonymous. I mean, you could try, but the FBI is going to go, so who's dead? No one? How much money did you lose, sir? None? Why are you calling? Is it sir or ma'am? It's ma'am. So anyway, there's a veritable who's who of absolute stupidity going on. A. Stallings, this guy's an absolute idiot. He's attempting to imply that you and Monica purchased child porn, child exploitation material from him. He's trying to entice you to admitting it or seeking more material from him. Short, it looks like he's trying to do a stupid entrapment, and the verbiage code words used indicate this is probably a Chan or Kiwi Farms op. Kiwi Farms. Stallings is on to you. Stallings, Andrew Stallings, the smartest investigative tax consultant on the planet. He is on to you, Kiwi Farms, or should I say, dare I say, Pizza Farms. Jesus Christ. And it gets, it's scary on both sides. It's not scary. It's stupid, and it should be completely disregarded. That's it. How does Stallings keep getting work? I'm pretty sure it works for his mom. That's not a joke. Trying to entrap you to use CP against Nick and Vic so they can show that all these accusations against Vic are illegitimate. No. They're trying to do this. If you want to know, I don't know who did this. I don't even know if it was a pro-Vic person, a pro-Ron person, or someone who hates everybody, or someone who loves everybody. But if you want to know exactly what this person was trying to do, I can help you. Because I am an expert in personology. I am a verified expert in personology. And what they wanted Ron to do was this. There it is. Nailed it. They got exactly what they were after because Ron is dumb. Ron, buddy, I get ridiculous emails all the time. Usually best to just ignore them. You just gave this person all the attention they could have asked for, and they're laughing at you going, got him! You just got D's nuts in front of the whole earth. Good job, you moron. Oh my goodness. So anyway, that's the That's the Ron story. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but you have now, of course. Oh, and real quick, I'll show you what this looks like on me, on my personal Twitter. Block, 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 block. So, oh boy. Oh my goodness. But again, I will state, as I've stated every single time, no one should do anything like this. It is funny. I mean, it's funny. It's hard to... It's only funny because Ron is stupid. So, the emails weren't funny. Ron is funny. But no one should do this. People should not be emailing Ron. No one should be emailing Monica or bothering them. They are people in a lawsuit. And even though I think they are absolute scum, they don't deserve to be harassed, contacted, intimidated, bothered, picked on, other than from a distance. If you want to make fun of them from afar, make fun of them from afar. Don't go out and reach in and touch that nasty stink. You don't want it anywhere near you. They are horrendous, grotesque people. That doesn't mean that they deserve to be bothered. Leave people alone. So, that being said, what else do we have? Okay, we've got Anis Abdin. Let me pull up this story. Let's see how best to... I hate all of these articles. Well, we'll just bite the bullet and go with Gizmodo. Ugh. I'd read a... Where's the one I read earlier? Did I favorite that? Hold on. Bookmark it or whatever. I'd much rather do this one. Give me just a second. I don't want to use Gizmodo. Gizmodo's garbage. And they deserve to catch fire or whatever in Minecraft. So let's see. Where is it? Where did it go? Oh my gosh. Did I lose? I think I lost it. Hold on. Why didn't it show up on the Google search results? Oh, and guys, yes, by the way, I will be covering the Epic versus Apple suit, probably in a short video. They have filed for a preliminary injunction against Apple, removing them from the store. However, that preliminary injunction the document is 197 pages. It'll take me a little bit to parse through it. But yes, I will be going through it. Oh, here's Bloomberg Law. This one might be better. All right. But yeah, many people have asked me about the Epic and Fortnite, Epic versus Apple thing, and it's a really interesting case. It's a really interesting case, and it's kind of funny because their theory, their antitrust theory, is similar to the antitrust stuff that hit Microsoft, in that, sure, there are other payment platforms out there, but as far as iOS users, the Apple Store is the only way to get to iOS users. And that was the thing with Microsoft. In a different but similar way, Microsoft was distributing Microsoft products to all Microsoft computer sales and excluding other products from being distributed on the fresh install. Now, I mean, you would think that it would be fine for Windows to install Windows programs on Windows operating systems, but it wasn't. They determined that that was unfair and that Microsoft had to preload competitor software along with their own, which is why for a long time you had Internet Explorer and Netscape pre-installed on your computer that you bought from Best Buy or whatever. And all of that bloatware, all of that garbage that came on was really a result of the courts going in and stepping in with an antitrust order. So nowadays things have changed a little bit, but the idea is the same. Epic tried to subvert Apple's store purchases, and Apple didn't like it. Apple gets, by the way, a 30% cut, similar to YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Hello. Maybe there will be a reckoning for you as well. Apple took a 30% cut of in-app purchases on Fortnite. Why? Why? Can anybody tell me what Apple does for in-app purchases on Fortnite? Not for a purchase through the App Store, right? You've already acquired the thing from the App Store. What does Apple do to earn 30% for an in-app purchase? I'll tell you what Apple does to earn that 30%. They prevent you from acquiring it any other way. And that's an interesting reason. And I think that should be emphasized in the suit, is that the main service that you get for that 30% charge is blocking out any other payee. Blocking out any other possible payment options. That's all Apple does, including your own. So we'll, because again, once you stop with the whole agreed thing and Apple will win automatically, they might win, but this is an antitrust action. And just because you agree to something doesn't mean that it's not monopolistic and not against the Antitrust Act. And that's a very interesting distinction here. Apple has monopolistic access to iOS. And again, when Windows had monopolistic access to Windows, they were forced to install their competitors' software onto Windows machines. Even though you could, and think about the difference here. On a Windows machine that you bought, when Microsoft got hit with antitrust provisions, you could go home with the purchase, and before ever even opening Internet Explorer, I guess you'd have to open Internet Explorer to download Netscape, unless you had a CD with it on there. You could install some other platform onto it. Microsoft couldn't exclude you from doing that. Or they didn't. I guess in theory they could have, but they didn't do that. Apple did it. And not only did Apple do that, Apple further retaliated by removing all Epic apps from the App Store. All of them, including the Unreal Engine and the development tools. So, not only, and this might be Apple's fatal flaw in all honesty, not only does Apple prevent the purchase, prevent Epic Games from having their own purchase option in their own software, not only do they do that, they remove Fortnite from the App Store, and you can say that's fine because they violated the terms of service or whatever. But Epic also distributed the Unreal Engine on the App Store, and Apple has said that they will take that off there as well. That is retaliation against the company. That's not just removal of the infringing app. That's a retaliatory act against the company. And by the way, that shuts off Epic's access to all iOS users on the planet. And that's an amazing sort of thing. Doesn't matter if Epic is doing this for China. It doesn't matter. Whether or not it's a trust violation is the real question. If you cut off an entire company because they did one thing on an app, and by the way, Apple just recently testified in Congress that they don't do exactly what they did, that they don't retaliate against companies for apps violations of their terms of service. Apple said under oath, Tim Cook, the CEO, said under oath, Apple does not retaliate for violations of an individual app on the terms of service. And then they did immediately. So we'll have to see how it goes. I'm not saying that Epic is going to win. I'm saying it's a really interesting case, and we'll have to watch it. We'll have to watch it. Okay. Towers Comics says, hey, Nick, can you look at Rocco Galati, constitutional lawyer suing the Canadian government over lockdown restrictions and civil liberty infringements? I can try. Sure. What was next? We've got Ryan Thornton says, after the Vic situation and the way the American VAs have been acting all entitled since the nuking of Kiss Anime over the weekend, to hell with the U.S. anime industry. I'm buying straight from Japan from now on. Well, you know, they can be happy that Kiss Anime is gone, but I think the Japanese animation studios are about to blow them out of the water. Completely by what? Toei and other major studios have just decided to go ahead and create YouTube channels to freely distribute their content. We'll see. We'll see. You won't have to pirate it or buy it direct from Japan. You could probably just go onto YouTube and watch it there. Siren Jag says Lemoyne sings. Oh, God. You spin me right round, baby, right round like a record, baby, right round, round, round. You spin me right round, baby, right round like a record, baby. I want your love. You're welcome. Brian Dewig says Rekieta puts the lotion on its skin, else it gets the sunburn again. Yep. Big Red Bear says, seen Epic Games going full WW2 Japan this week on Apple and Google. I'm sure they think they've got this, but I work in tech. Apple's a closed platform. They're basically arguing nuh-uh when suing them. Dumb lol. Here's the thing. Epic's got money to burn. All they have to do is ask if it's worth, if the juice is worth the squeeze, man. If it's worth the risk. If it's worth the risk, what's the risk to Epic? The risk to Epic is that, in theory, I guess they could lose all access to the App Store ever. Or they could just settle with Apple. In the end, they could settle with Apple because Apple wants people. Apple's going to really hate not having those Fortnite microtransactions. They're going to hate it. Why do you think they punished Epic so heavily in the first place? So at the end of the day, Epic will be back on iOS devices, or Fortnite will be back on iOS devices as soon as they want to be and as soon as they make complying script. That's it. I highly doubt that Apple will maintain their vindictive position because it's too cost beneficial to Apple to resume doing business once the dispute's resolved. Rick Nikita says, I have nothing more to say. Tangents about said subject for 20 minutes. We all got bamboozled. I believe the term you're looking for there, good sir, is grifting. Grifted. Brian Dewey says, what are your thoughts on Epic weaponizing children who play Fortnite over a contract dispute by running an ad in-game as part of launching the lawsuit? Many who are underage. I don't care. I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to react to that. I don't care if Fortnite puts an ad in their game that says we're launching a lawsuit against Apple because Apple wants to take Fortnite away from you. Companies do this all the time in contract disputes. Cable companies, for example, or satellite companies, they do it a lot. I don't know how they're weaponizing children unless they're actually strapping bombs on them and mailing them to Apple. I don't think they are. If they want the customers to be pissed at Apple, that's fine. I haven't watched the 1984 propaganda video against Apple. FYI, the new official anime YouTube channel in English is Anime Log. Thank you. But yeah, I don't care that they put an ad on their thing. If they're underage, then they're either complying with the terms of service that Apple and Epic have set out for use of their program, or they're not. I don't know. Okay, so, but yeah. All right, let's get to this Anis Abdin thing. Long story short, I'll be covering the video on a topic when I more thoroughly go through the documents. So here's Anis Abdin. A story arc about a giant tardigrade in Star Trek Discovery didn't infringe a copyright in an unreleased video game that also featured a giant tardigrade, the second court affirmed Monday. Many elements of the work that CBS Broadcasting Corp and Netflix Corp allegedly infringed covered uncopyrightable scientific facts and ideas about tardigrades, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit said. And this, as I mentioned when we talked about it the other day, very similar sort of thing going on with Pirates of the Caribbean and an alleged copyright infringement on that script. They said you can't copyright pirate stuff because pirates do pirate stuff. Rum is pirate stuff. All these things are pirate tropes. But then they said that the order and selection of the tropes actually mattered. That was in the Ninth Circuit. This is the Second Circuit. So whether or not, I mean, I don't know that Anis is going to try and get this to the Supreme Court. I doubt it. Maybe. I doubt it, but that's a difference between these two cases and one that doesn't appear to have been argued in this appeal. Anis Osama Ibrahim Abdin owns a copyright in the distillation of the concept for his video game Tardigrades, a compilation of images, descriptions, and illustrations detailing the game's characters and backstories. It features a space station botanist who travels through space after being absorbed into a giant tardigrade based on the real-life microscopic creature that can endure extreme heat, cold pressure, and radiation. 3 episodes in the first season of CBS's Star Trek Discovery also involve a space encounter with a massive tardigrade-like creature, and Abdin sued CBS for copyright infringement in Manhattan federal court. U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York dismissed his claims in September. The Second Circuit affirmed that CBS and Netflix, which is licensed to air Discovery outside the U.S., didn't infringe because the works aren't substantially similar. Abdin's use of tardigrades largely wasn't copyrightable, the court said. Quote, Abdin's space-traveling tardigrade is an unprotectable idea because it is a generalized expression of a scientific fact, namely, the known ability of a tardigrade to survive in space. That means that a tardigrade can travel through space at faster than light speeds. That's known. It is known. By permitting Abden to exclusively own the idea of a space-traveling tardigrade, the court would improperly withdraw the idea from the public domain and stifle creativity naturally flowing from the scientific fact that tardigrades can survive the vacuum of space. There is also no substantial similarity based on the original parts of Abden's work that might have been protected, including its tardigrade-human interaction. Although the tardigrades had some similarities, they also had significant differences. The creatures were used to travel through space in different ways and had different coloring. Racists, among other things. And most significantly, the court said it was unclear what role Abdil's tardigrade would play in the video game while Star Trek was at the center of a fully developed story. That is frustrating. That is frustrating because Abden's story is pretty fleshed out and described fairly detailed in the court documents. The court also said elements of Abdil's work were uncopyrightable stock themes from science fiction, including space travel and alien encounters. But again, if you go through his original lawsuit, it alleges serious similarities on character design, costume design, character profiles, and interactions between characters. I don't know what happened. We should be back in a second. This is on my end this time. We had a lag spike hit. So I'm not going to blame anybody else on that one. That was a lag spike there. Good times. Good times. I think a Florida man just tried to sleep with an alligator on my internet. The Pie Baker says... The Pie Baker, I hate you for this. When a cock loves a woman, can't keep his remote on nothing else, he'll trade the internet for that fat thing he found. If she's fat, he can't fuck it. He can do no wrong. Turn his back on her former friend if he bruised her up. When a cock loves a woman. Oh, God. Why? Okay. If you guys, I realize that many of you may not be familiar, but I actually have recorded a song. It is available. It is available on SoundCloud, and it is not what just happened. But you can go ahead and check out Cuck Yourself on SoundCloud. It's in the description of this video, actually. So if you are unfamiliar with Cuck Yourself, it is in the description of the video. And I recorded it about a year ago for the Dick Show. It is in relation to the Maddox lawsuit. So you can go have fun with that. So I completely forgot that I did that gimmick a long time ago. But let's see. We've got here we've got another news story coming up. Hopefully this one will burn you up a little bit. Oh, here we go. I know many of you may have seen this sort of story, but we're going to watch it. To remind everybody that Portland is a peaceful city now that the feds are gone. Is peace. And I am going to use my lawyer skills. I'm going to use my lawyer skills to determine whether or not a simple battery occurred. Because, again, I think someone may have missed it. May have missed it. Yeah, Mr. K, we'll probably do that. All right, so BLM mob beats white man unconscious after making him crash truck. Video. I'm not going to watch their video. We'll go to the Twitter Raw video. A mob of Portland Black Lives Matter protesters forced a white man to crash his truck, then punched and kicked him unconscious, disturbing footage shows. A series of clips on social media. I like how they don't credit Andy No. Go? No? I don't know how to pronounce it. Someone told me last time and I forgot. A series of clips on social media shows the victim being surrounded in his white Ford truck at 10:30 p.m. Sunday as others attacked a woman he was with, who was punched and even tackled to the ground during the violent melee. No, the G is silent. Thank you. Thank you. He didn't do nothing, someone could be heard calling, as others punched the driver as he sat in his truck, which was also repeatedly kicked. The unidentified driver eventually sped off, with the mob chasing him, with some heard loudly laughing when he crashed into a tree and then a building, according to the clips. He was dragged from the truck and tackled to the ground as he begged for help, getting repeatedly punched as he tried to call his wife while pleading with his attackers. As he sat on the ground, the videos show. I ain't trying to hurt no one, he told them, with the only unexplained accusation heard in the clips being that COVID is real. COVID is real. I was trying to get out of the way. He insisted of crashing his truck as several of the group punched him in the face repeatedly and called the white driver the N-word. Oh, so Sargon must have been there, I guess. He was just a white N-word. As the mob dispersed to watch another fight, I want to point out something. As the mob dispersed to watch another fight, Portland is a beautiful place, really lovely this time of year. The main offender circled back around, kicking the defenseless driver in the face from behind, instantly knocking him out with his head cracking on the road. What the F is you talking about near the attacker wearing a shirt with security on the front and back screamed after the thud of his victim's head hitting the ground. The victim was then shown bleeding from a large wound in the back of his head as he appeared unconscious throughout another almost 2.5-minute clip. The woman was shown sobbing nearby as the mob held her back and appeared to rifle through his truck, which of course you would, right? Of course you should. If you're just out there enforcing the security of Portland, you would then rifle through his truck after knocking him unconscious. Black Lives Matter near. I don't know why they keep saying near. Very weird. One man continually ranted as other people checked the victim was still alive. Even as he remained unconscious, a woman was heard taunting him, "Get your bitch ass up." Police in riot gear had to assist ambulance crews helping him as they were confronted by a, quote, a hostile crowd, Portland police said in a release. Of course, They don't want police there. How dare they? The police shouldn't be there. I thought Portland had made this clear to the Portland police that the Portland police were not welcome in Portland and they needed to go. So I don't know why they thought they could approach this Hoyt near and determine that he should have any sort of medical care given to him. They told the police to stay away. I hope you're catching my Blazing Saddles joke. JCF Data says, evening, Nick. Hope you doing well. I am. And the family is safe and sound and you're having a good trip? We are, except for my sunburn. I joined just in time to hear I'm just a whiny bitch in the Soye voice. Awesome Knucklehead Saturday with Stan and Ken. I have not gotten a chance to see the Knuckleheads Saturday show, but I'm guessing it was great. I saw a lot of positive feedback on it. Okay. The victim was taken to a local hospital with serious injuries, police said. The incident is under investigation and no arrests have been made, the force said. It was unclear what sparked the confrontation, but some witnesses tweeted that he had tried to intervene in an altercation between the mob and another person. And New York Post has left out, I believe it was alleged to be a trans person where the mob was beating a tranny. But, you know, you can't intervene with the mob. The mob knows what's right. I cannot believe he didn't know that. The mob is always correct. Police said that protesters were chasing the truck before it crashed and they assaulted the driver after the crash. Also, the alleged reason that he crashed is because he was avoiding other protesters standing in the way. Kaylin Dalmeda, the co-founder of Scriber News, who shared one of the videos, tweeted, a man accused of trying to run over protesters crashed his vehicle. BLM and Antifa militants then pull him from the car and violently assault him. Now, I am not advocating for anyone else to do this. All I know is that if I'm driving, especially with my family, and protesters were to get in the way of my car, I don't know that I would swerve. I don't think I would. Nor would I slow down. In fact, I may speed up at this point. And I drive a big van. A roughly 5,000-pound van, I believe. It will win against, it's got a V8. It will win against several protesters. It will even tow several protesters behind it if necessary. He claimed that it was, quote, specifically a militant BLM group that left the BLM protest to intentionally incite violence tonight. Nope. Let's be very clear. BLM is a militant group. Not a militant group of BLM. BLM is a militant group. There may be peaceful members of that group, but it is a militant group. Everything BLM does is militant. It is organized. It is intrusive. It is obstructive. It is often violent. BLM could work to change that image, but they don't. They've embraced it, and that's the choice that they've made. But we need to stop pretending that they're not a militant group just because one group of BLM people might not be beating someone at the moment or throwing rocks or bottles or fire bombs, as it were. There's another BLM group on the way who will. Let's see. The incident came days after the Seattle BLM members marched through gentrified neighborhoods and demanded white people give up their homes. You can't, this is it, you can't take Black Lives Matter seriously because it's not serious. It can't be serious. If Black Lives Matter were serious, their demands would be attainable or at least plausible. But you can't walk through a neighborhood demanding the Whoites to give up their homes. They bought them. That's theirs. What are you going to give them in exchange for it? Now, see, interestingly, the government can do stuff like this. The government has the power to take property that is privately owned for the public purpose, and they can then, what they have to do is they have to compensate the owner. So maybe what Black Lives Matter should do is take that $250 million that they got from the NFL, even though they don't really have an organizational structure to receive the money, so who knows where it even went. I can't wait to find the accounting for it. I think the IRS might be interested in finding out where the money went. But anyway, take that $250 million and buy the gentrified neighborhood. Try buying it. Just do that. You have a huge pool of money. Compensate people. I know how to get the white people out of that neighborhood. It's pretty simple. Just use the $250 million to start buying all of the vacant houses or all of the houses that go up for sale in the area and fill them as BLM staff offices. They'll leave pretty quick. They'll sell their homes. I would. I don't need a commie organization organizing in my neighborhood. Let's see. And it came a day after Portland officials once again declared a riot as mobs once again brought violence while claiming to protest the death of George Floyd, as they have done nightly for almost 2 months. 2 months? Well over 2 months. 2 cops were hospitalized overnight Saturday after protesters hurled a 10-pound rock at them during the 79th night of clashes in the City of Roses, according to reports. I don't know if New York Post failed their own editing here, but 79 nights is more than almost 2 months. In fact, 79 nights would be almost 3 months. But I'm told that this isn't happening, you know. There are people, even people that I like, you know, out there saying that the Portland stuff's kind of a myth. And here's the thing, it's localized. It's localized. Well, let's take a peek at the video. Shan't we? Shall we? Shall we take a gander? Let me make sure the audio's on. You got to hear the audio. Whoops. Oh, wait, I don't have audio on. Okay. Here we go. Oh, see, that was just so we're clear. Let's go back. Turning this up on my headphones. Whoops. That is a simple battery. That right there is a simple battery. A battery is an unwanted touch. An unwanted, unauthorized touch. It gets more complicated, right? Like batteries can go up, but that's a simple battery, an unwanted touch. Let's see if we can find any others. Battery. That's two more right there. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Bro. It's two batteries. Battery. This guy touching him, that's a battery too. I don't think the man on the ground wants to be touched by a single person that's surrounding him, preventing him from leaving. This might also be a conspiracy to falsely imprison. We could go through. There's a lot of crimes being committed here, and a lot of civil cause of action as well. Here, let's see. False imprisonment, Oregon. Wrongful, unlawful detention. Here we go. Oregon Statutes 398.344, unlawful detention, says any person subject to this chapter who, except as provided by law or regulation, apprehends, arrests, or confines any person shall be punished as a court-martial may direct. Now this, oh goodness, I have to check what 398.344. Let's see what's around this. This might be specific to Oh, this is military stuff. Hold on, I gotta find the correct one. My bad. False imprisonment. Let's see. I'll see if I can find it real quick. I wonder if false imprisonment is just a civil cause of action in Oregon. I'll have to check. Either way, we've got assaults going on as well. The assaults are not the same as a touch. A battery would be a touch. Let's see, Oregon. See. Here we go. Let's see how Oregon does this. Okay, fourth degree assault in Oregon is commits crime of assault in the fourth degree if intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly causes physical injury to another, or with criminal negligence causes physical injury to another by means of a deadly weapon. So fourth degree assault requires injury. This would be the criminal statute. This would be the criminal statute. The civil, a civil cause of action would be for a simple battery would be just an unwanted touch. But in the fourth degree assault is commits a crime of assault in the fourth degree if the person intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly causes physical injury to another. Now, physical injury is just merely pain. Third degree is recklessly causes physical injury to another by means of a deadly or dangerous weapon. Recklessly causes serious physical injury to another under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to the value of human life. We'll probably see that in a little bit. Recklessly causes physical injury to another by means of a deadly or dangerous weapon under circumstances, blah, blah, blah. intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly causes by means other than a motor vehicle physical injury to the operator of a public transit vehicle. Oh, here we go. While being aided by another person actually present, intentionally or knowingly causes physical injury to another. So, fourth degree assault gets escalated to third degree assault if there are two people present. Okay? And that clearly there's more than one person present here participating. So we have now got assault in the third degree. Let's see. That's a Class C felony. Fourth degree is a Class A misdemeanor. Second degree. Intentionally or knowingly causes serious physical injury to another is second degree assault. That we will see later. Being knocked unconscious by a head wound would be serious physical injury, maybe even more. We'll check it out in the first degree in just a second. But that is definitely a second degree assault. Right now, that kick to the head and what's going on around here is probably assault in the third or second degree. So first degree is intentionally causes serious physical injury by means of a deadly or dangerous weapon. Let's see. Okay. It looks like we're not going to see an assault in the first degree charge on this because there are no weapons involved that I've seen so far and none of the other qualifying factors. So it looks like we've got second and third degree assaults here. No police around. The police aren't welcome in Portland. What are you talking about? All right, let's keep going. Notice this is what I've been seeing a lot of lately. Did you see the flashing? These people are using the self-defense flashlights on people. They're using it on... I saw it somewhere else where some guys were trying to walk away and they were all being flashed in the face by this stuff. Battery? Those flashlights may also be an assaultive or civil assault or a civil battery as well. Did you hear that? Who is you? Who are you? So here's his truck, which hit the tree. Yeah, he says he was just trying to get his homie home. That's from a previous video. We'll watch it in a minute. He's sitting right here till the cops come, they said. Which I guess they accomplished that. Although I still think they may be committing an unlawful detention. Where is you keys near? I'm not sure why they're looking for their keys. They're asking where his wife is. Why? I have no idea. Why are they trying to find out where his wife is? He said right over there, which I don't know if she actually is over there, but if she is, God, I don't know why you would tell them. Bad Vibe says you are also forgetting assault 1 through 4. If a minor is there, it's worse and has measure 11 issues. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. I don't think we have assault 1 in this video. Maybe in the other. We'll have to check. Was that his wife in the previous video? Was that actually his wife? I didn't know, because he said he was trying to get his homie home. I didn't know if that was his homie or his wife.
you try and call me. Can I answer it?
Answer what do what you gotta do, but you ain't leaving, my nigga. Ain't going nowhere. So answer the fucking phone for your bitch, my nigga. Let her know you're okay.
Answer the fucking phone for your bitch. God, these monsters. I mean, I don't. Are we kidding? Like, where are we? This is where we are. This is where we are.
Damn, my nigga, COVID's a real thing, bro. Come on now.
COVID's a real
I
thing.
ain't trying to hurt no one down there.
What you mean you're not trying to hurt nobody, nigga? You just shut the fuck.
That was an assault. I don't know if you saw that. He got punched in the face. He's about to get punched a lot more.
Nigga, you was fucking belly up going forward, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? You right here.
Lots of N-words.
Talking about?
This guy should probably be canceled for all of his N-words. Very offensive.
You talking about you weren't trying to hurt nobody, nigga? Fuck this nigga. Not you. Fuck this nigga. I ain't trying to hurt nobody, nigga. You want to? Watch the fuck out, nigga. Fuck is you
Punch.
talking about? You want to hurt nobody?
Several punches.
Fuck is you talking about, nigga? What's up, TC?
I mean, that guy gets all of the focus because he clearly hit this guy in the face with his fists, and obviously he's the guy who comes around and kicks him at the end of the video. But I want to point out that he is not the only person who has assaulted this guy. He is not the only person who has done civil battery against him either. Several people have done so, and many of these people are actually accomplices to this. And I would think that there may also be some sort of unlawful detention, unlawful arrest, unlawful restraint going on. False imprisonment would be the civil call for preventing him from moving. He's not allowed to leave. These people have no authority over this guy, but he is not allowed to leave. Another hit. This guy is wearing a security shirt. Now, normally I wouldn't pay any mind to someone wearing a security shirt, but I believe in Portland, in the cop no-go zones, the people wearing security shirts are acting as the police. Like, that's why they wear them. Now, I don't know if that's correct. I know that's what was going on in the Chaz, is they had a private security force. That was in Seattle. It's not Portland. But, you know, they actually tried to impose their own police force. And I don't know if this guy is part of that, but seems to be trying to enforce some stuff. Lone Wolf, what do you mean assault with intent? So this guy's pulled him away. There's his wife. Get his wife. There's his wife. She runs. While they're distracted, there's the kick. So that's the kick that happened. Let's see. Oh, thank God. Mayor Ted Wheeler has denounced the violence. Very helpful. I'm glad he did that. Such a helpful person. If you guys haven't seen, by the way, if you're not familiar with Andy No, you really should be. He's been doing great work. I need to, at some point, try to get him on the show. I don't know if he'd want to come on or not. I hope so. But he's been doing this. He's been going ahead and talking about the arrests that are being made on this stuff. For example, Blake David Hamp, the 43-year-old Antifa and convicted pedophile, isn't it always, says, was bailed out of jail last week. He was arrested based on a felony charge related to the stabbing of a black conservative activist at a riot. I can now report that he was bailed out by a Portland Antifa bail group. Let's see. So he has some of these videos. Here's Mayor Ted Wheeler's office released a statement in response to BLM street attacks. I denounce all violence, including the assaults that were filmed and posted to social media last night. Thanks. Thanks. Let's see if we've got... Oh, that was fun. Fun explosion of a firework there. Let's see. Oh, it looks like they're identifying Mr. Love here. That's him unconscious. I don't want to watch that. I want to watch the lead-up video. Here it is. Here it is. We've got 2 lead-up videos. So this is the one prior to the car crash. Here we go.
Take your shit, bro. Chill the fuck out.
And then you really won't be able to get out of your seat.
Stop.
Yo, what are you doing?
You didn't do nothing.
Go get that.
Notice we have security here. Very helpful. Always good to have local security. So if you don't notice, they're simple battering. They're simple battering this person back here. Also, it would be probably a 3rd-degree assault going on. And we see the genesis of the altercation between these two appears to be him reacting to the people beating on this lady. I guess this is his wife. And they have hit her several times. I'm not sure. That's just what I'm kind of inferring here. And of course, she's attacked. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this chick who just went up and kicked her is the same guy who ends up kicking the driver a little bit later. There's homeboy on a scooter again on the right side. Good job. She's trying to leave. The second someone, again, you wouldn't catch me stuck here. You would catch me running these people over. The second someone kicks the truck, he should be justified in running over whoever's in front of him at this point. The fact that he has made an attempt to leave, they've tried to prevent it. The fact that they appear to have opened his vehicle, that they have hit him, that they have hit the woman, they have assaulted someone around him, you know, all of that stuff. This guy should be in plenty of reasonable fear, and he should be justified in, frankly, running over anyone in front of him. You say, of course, it's justified. You say, it should be. Is it? Is it? I think that one guy at the Charlottesville thing thought he was justified trying to get away. He didn't appear to be. The jury found that he was not. I mean, I know it should be. It should be. And I know that if it were me, it wouldn't matter whether I was justified if I felt my family was in danger. He's given them significant warning. They're throwing stuff at the car.
Back up! Back up! Back up!
He crashed into the building. Wait, what did they just say? Watch out, we're gonna block him in. Huh. That sounds like, I mean, obviously there's intent to do all of this stuff, but that sounds like even more intent. So there was that one. This is the moment immediately before.
Stop doing shit! Dumb mother.
Back up, bro. Back up. I'm trying. Hey, stop doing shit!
Dumb motherfucker!
Stop doing shit! That's what I mean, nigga. Hey, don't reach inside your truck, nigga.
Don't reach inside your truck. Hey, fuck you. By the way, fuck you. Like, this guy, if he would have had a gun, we would have had bodies in the streets. Probably his, too. Where are the cops? The cops aren't welcome in Portland. They left. Pocket Full of War says, bring back the breaking wheel and let Spectacle sort out every rat who engages in the mob. And by the way, this is why you need a 30-round magazine. Do you think 7 or 15 shots is enough in this case? No. You need a 30-round mag. Bad Vibe says, dude has a pipe, Nick. A weapon is on scene. Yeah, he hasn't actually... I haven't seen a guy with a pipe commit an assault at this point. Just having a weapon present doesn't necessarily trip the criminal statute, although it could go for all sorts of other things. I heard the drum mags lock up. That's why I don't advocate the use of drum mags.
Back up, bro. Back up. Back up, my nigga. Back up, bro. Sit down.
So he's trying to get. He's saying he's trying to get help, I think.
Hey, don't reach inside your truck, my nigga. Back up, bro. Back up. Back up, my nigga. Back up, bro. Sit down. Sit down. Bro, sit the fuck down. Sit the fuck.
That's an assault, and I believe that guy is wielding a weapon. Yep. There it is. That's first degree assault. I think. Intentionally causes serious physical injury by means of a deadly or dangerous weapon. It might not be first degree. Might still be in the second or third. Depends on how they define serious physical injury in Oregon. But guy holding a weapon just shoved him down, including using the weapon hand. He was trying to shut the truck off. Grab the keys. So they've just stolen his truck. By the way, that stealing keys is, in many states, that would be constructive theft of a vehicle. If you steal the means to take something, you have stolen the vehicle. In Minnesota, if you take someone's keys, you can be charged with theft of the vehicle itself. And this is clearly a theft. It's also a conspiracy to commit theft. He told him to take it.
Hey, Bro, you're not leaving, bro. You're not going nowhere. Put your ass down.
Get your ass down, nigga.
Sit the fuck down, nigga.
Hey,
I'm not taking your hands back. The key is off, my nigga. It's off. Stay the fuck down, nigga.
Keep your hands
so I can see them.
They're flashing that light in his face.
Oh, who is you? Yeah, who the fuck is you, my nigga?
Hey, Johnny, thank you so much for coming out here.
I'm an older guy. I'm just
I'm just trying to get my homie home.
Hey,
Get the fuck out of here. Sit your ass down.
He's sitting down, bro, until the cops come, nigga. Until the cops come, nigga.
Where the fuck is your keys? Nigga, I'm gonna shock you, nigga.
Where's your wife?
I'm gonna shock you. That sounded like a nice threat there. All of these people have commit common law assault, right? They've all put him in fear of his safety.
Where's your wife?
She's right there.
Right where?
Oh, okay. He has. Again, I don't know exactly how Portland would qualify this, but a head wound of any type in Minnesota would be at least a serious, if not a grievous, physical injury, because head wounds carry a risk of death. He's got a head wound here, so he automatically at this point has been dealt a serious physical injury, presumptively maybe worse.
Right there.
I can't think of any state determining that a bleeding head wound is not a serious physical injury.
You know, she's trying to call me. I'm sorry. Where the fuck is she at? I'm sorry. She's trying to call me. Where's she at? She's trying to call me. Can I answer it?
Answer would do it.
Okay, so there's that. That's him. That's him sleeping. A lot of chaos in the middle of downtown Portland overnight with a group of thugs who were at the BLM protests going around beating people. Those who intervened to help were then also assaulted. Police could not respond per command orders. So there you go. The woman being his wife is not confirmed. It's not clear if they even know each other. You will never understand what a traumatic brain injury does to you until you experience it yourself or see a loved one suffer through it. I don't know if he's referencing this, but like the hits to the head, traumatic brain injury is a risk, and it's a traumatic brain injury even on how do I word this? Even on what doesn't appear to be a serious injury, you can obviously suffer a concussion or a traumatic brain injury. They have the potential to carry lifelong consequences. So it looks like the person robbed and beaten by BLM protesters in downtown Portland tonight is a trans woman. She pleads for her backpack back. Her longboard was also stolen. She may be transient. The man who tried to protect her was later beaten himself. Okay, so here's this guy. We're going back in time. Yeah, and I remember that Andy was hit. I think he was attacked while he was reporting, if I remember correctly. So then this thing. So that's that. Obviously, I was being tongue in cheek on the traumatic or on the simple battery stuff. We have serious crimes being committed in the streets. We have people denying that there's anything going on in Portland. We have people I like denying that there's anything going on in Portland. When I mentioned it on Twitter the other day, for example, Dick basically said he was just in Portland and it was made up. Clearly, it's not made up, although I think it likely is localized to some specific blocks downtown. And those specific blocks should be immediately flooded with police, and they should arrest just about everybody. I mean, at this point, we've got to get ready. We've got to get rid of these people. We've got to get rid of violent actors. That's not a peaceful protest. It's a riot. Deal with it like you deal with a riot. Don't let them out of jail. Put them in jail until it's over. The governor's enacted emergency powers for COVID. Use them. Use them. Socialism is for Fig says in that video, I heard a racked firearm. Play it again halfway through. I don't know which specific video, and no, I'll just take your word for it. I believe it. The reason we need police to come in and actually stop this stuff is because if we don't, soon we're going to have a Portlandian. We're going to have a Portlandian in a building with a rifle, and that guy will just start shooting people. We could have vigilante snipers immediately. And the second a mob forms around people, just done. Done. And that's not what I ever want, by the way. I am not an advocate of violence. I'm just saying what will end up happening. Andy No has said that Portland police posted a small update on the status of the unnamed driver. He is recovering in the hospital. This was several hours ago. Let's see. Oh, let's just take a look at this, I guess. It's kind of interesting. The Portland Police Bureau update on the situation. August 16th, 2020, 10:27 p.m. Portland police officers responded to an accident call at the intersection of Southwest Taylor Street and Broadway. Call read that protesters chased a white Ford 4x4, which has crashed at that location, and protesters drug him out of the car. Another witness called prior to police arrival and reported that 9 to 10 people were beating the guy. Officers responded, found an adult male who was unconscious with injuries. The victim was transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and is recovering. Hold on. What was that? Let's see. Portland police became aware of videos circulating through social media which show various events of what led up to an assault of the victim. I mean, they were an assault of the victim immediately at his car, if you ask me. They're not criminal assault because he didn't suffer injury until he was removed from the car, but civil common law assault in that he was placed in reasonable fear by their actions. The series of events was carried out in different locations involving many different people. This is, I think this is deceptive. It's probably not intentionally deceptive. You know, they're releasing a statement, but the people at the one location that happened first are the same people. The same people, the same guy in the security shirt, the same chick in the tight jeans who assault him at the second location are present at the other location. This is an ongoing investigation. The Police Bureau will provide further information as it is available. Below are chronological links to the videos posted on Twitter by Drew Hernandez. Investigators learned the victim may have been trying to help a transgender female who had some of her things stolen in the area Southwest Taylor and 4th Avenue, the location where this incident began. That person has not been contacted, and their identity is unknown. Investigators would like to speak to this person. If you have info, you can contact Detective Brent Christensen at 503-823-2087, #doxed, or at brent.christensen@portlandoregon.gov. Portland Police Bureau has been learning of criminal activity captured on social media as it relates to the ongoing protests, which go unreported. Portland Police would like to remind witnesses and victims to call police immediately so a timely investigation can begin and valuable evidence can be collected. So that's all that they have said about this so far. And that's one of his more recent retweets. So that's the kick. But, yeah. So I wanted to give that update. I've seen a couple people saying the guy died and stuff like that. I don't have any information that suggests that he died. It sounds like they're you know, that the guy is recovering according to police. I would be surprised if he had died from it. But yeah. These are riots. These aren't protests. This is violence. Security's Facebook profile says he's an armed security guard. Of course he does. I mean, this is the LARPing, right? This is the stuff that that is going on. This is the problem. Is that there's no qualification. There's no whatever you think of the police. And on the organizational aspects of it, I'm not the biggest fan. You guys know this. I'm pretty honest about it. I will say again that the individual police owners, officers that I know are largely good. They're good people. They're upstanding and moral people. They're people I would trust my safety and my family with. That being said, individuals, and I think most cops probably are pretty good. Most cops are. But it doesn't matter how good the person is because the underlying organizational structure makes bad state actors on occasion. That being said, they're better than a mob. They're better than a mob. A mob of violence, walking around putting people in actual danger constantly. It's you know, that's a problem. I will take bad state actors who don't harm the majority of people they deal with over a mob that does. And this mob needs to be dealt with. I said it about Minneapolis too. The mob needs to be dealt with. They are and they need to be dealt with harshly in some way. I don't think we need bodies piling up in the streets or anything like that. Although I'm surprised there haven't been at this point because it's getting way out of hand. Okay. I was going to cover the Smollett stuff. Let's see if I've got that real quick. I've got the Trump stuff too. What? This is great. I hope you guys are ready for this. This is perfect. I want to remind you of something I don't know if people are putting together, but all of the unrest, the dissent, the shit going on, the Black Lives Matter attacks, all of that stuff. There's an event that fed into it and was intended to feed into it. And it's Jussie Smollett's fraud. That can't be overstated because it's getting swept under the rug, right? It's getting ignored that Jussie Smollett was attempting to do what's been done for his own personal gain. He was attempting to leverage racial violence for personal gain. And now it seems like a lifetime ago that he did this. But now we actually have racial violence and we're seeing the horrific results of what's going on. We're seeing it in the streets nightly in cities with burned down buildings, with lost businesses, with lost lives in some cases, with murders, with assaults, with violence, with burglaries, with theft, with people living in fear in some of these downtown areas or urban centers. And this guy was trying to do that for his own stupid, lame career move. He was trying to generate personal publicity. That was his point in doing this, was to raise his profile. He was trying to instigate this type of stuff. He just failed because he's a fucking idiot. But special prosecutor finds substantial abuses of discretion in Jussie Smollett case as he concludes investigation. Now that's a great headline. Don't read the rest of it, though. Special prosecutor Dan Webb did not find evidence to support filing criminal charges against Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx or any other prosecutor. That's the real story. That's the real story. Special Prosecutor Dan Webb laid out a series of operational failures and several false statements by Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx as he announced on Monday the end of his investigation into the handling of hate crimes by actor Jussie Smollett. Do you guys know what happens if you make a false statement or several false statements during an investigation? You know what happens to you? You go to jail. You go to jail for that. Kim Foxx gets an article in some newspapers saying there was abuses of discretion. Webb said Foxx and her staff made false or misleading statements about her declared recusal from the case, about how the Smollett case compared to others in the court system, about the certainty of a conviction for Smollett, and about her contacts with Smollett's sister, actor Jurnee Smollett. Oh, you know, she just lied about her contacts with someone. No big deal. No big deal. Webb said Foxx and her... Oh, yeah. But Webb also said he did not find evidence that the case was improperly influenced by third parties such as Tina Chen, the one-time chief of staff to former First Lady Michelle Obama. Nor did he find evidence that would support criminal charges. No big deal. In a statement, Fox's office said Webb's announcement puts to rest any implications of outside influence or criminal activity on part of the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. It also denied that false statements referenced in Webb's announcements were deliberately inaccurate. Fucking retire these people. Get them out. Vote them out. Fire them. Remove them from office. Get them out. Your county attorneys are elected positions. Get them out. Get Kim Foxx out. She's elected. Get her out. Smollett attorney Mark Garagos said in a statement Monday, this so-called report on Kim Foxx and the timing of the recharging of Jussie reveals the real political electoral motivation of Dan Webb and his cohorts. It's a blatant attempt to take down a black progressive female prosecutor who does not fit within the white power structure. Jussie, a black gay man who maintains his innocence, continues to be used as a pawn. I know Garagos has to say this, but Mark, that is bullshit and you know it. Today's report confirms what the defense has said all along. There was no wrongdoing or undue influence by Jussie or the defense in the dismissal of all charges against him. The second wave of charges is a blatant constitutional violation. No, it isn't. Not at all. Still, there are more shoes left to potentially drop. Webb said Monday he would seek permission, quote, as soon as possible, from Cook County Judge Michael Tooman to release a 60-page report that supports his findings with evidence. Do it. He also said he intends to forward the report to Illinois Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Commission. That would be funny. They should be disciplined. Kim Foxx should be disbarred. Frankly. A lot of DAs should be disbarred. I want to say that. I'm comfortably sauced enough to say that lots of prosecutors and DAs violate their ethical obligations in ways that directly impact citizens of the United States, and they should be disbarred and maybe jailed. Fox's Republican challenger in November's election, Pat O'Brien, called on Fox to resign. Smollett told police in January 2019 that he had been jumped by two white men near his Streeterville home. Smollett wound up being accused of faking the attack, but a 16-count indictment filed against him in March 2019 was tossed just weeks later, and how it was done raised suspicions. Don't leave out the fact that he said he was attacked by two white men, and it was actually two black men that he fucking hired. Like, don't leave that out. In his... What's with the Fs? In his announcement, Webb wrote that lawyers who currently or previously worked in the criminal division of the state... It must... guys, I think it just paused for a second. I didn't even see it. In his announcement, Webb wrote that lawyers who currently or previously worked in the criminal division of the state's attorney's office were surprised or shocked in some way by how the initial charges against Smollett were handled. He also wrote that the decision makers in that initial case have significantly and meaningfully divergent explanations for how the resolution was reached, including who negotiated the terms. This is simple. No one negotiated the terms. No one did. Additionally, Webb pointed to untrue statements made by Fox and her staff. For example, Webb said Fox and others in her office made false statements in April 2019 about whether she realized she had improperly recused herself from the Smollett case. Fox appointed an acting state's attorney to handle the case rather than ask the judge to appoint a special prosecutor. Once Fox and her staff realized the error, Webb wrote that they, quote, made the decision to ignore this major legal defect, seemingly because they did not want to admit they had made such a major mistake of judgment. Webb also pointed to an op-ed from Fox published by the Chicago Tribune in which he said Fox falsely represented that the office believed the likelihood of securing conviction was not certain. Finally, Webb said Fox made an untrue statement when she told the media she had stopped communicating with Smollett's sister, Journey Smollett, as soon as she learned Jesse Smollett had become a suspect in CPD's investigation. He wrote that Fox had learned by February 8th that Jesse Smollett was a suspect, but she continued to communicate with Journey Smollett for 5 more days as part of this investigation. She should have been immediately recused. Immediately. She's got contact with his sister while a criminal investigation is going on. She should be out. As part of his investigation, Webb said he looked into whether there was any improper outside influence on the original case against Smollett, including by Chen, Journey Smollett, or Sherilyn Eiffel, President and Director Counsel of the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund. Don't ever donate to the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund. Don't. They are garbage. They don't defend people. They are propaganda. Webb said he did not find evidence they influenced the outcome of the original Smollett case. However, conversations with these 3 people did deepen concerns State's Attorney Fox had regarding information being released to the public, seemingly by the CPD, about the ongoing investigation, Webb wrote. Though Webb said in his announcement there were unauthorized leaks of information in the case by members of the Chicago Police Department, he said the sources of the leaks could not be identified and evidence would not support criminal charges in that matter either. That's the story. And then they've got his statement. I'm not going to read through that. That's 12 pages. But that's all we need to know. Nothing's going to happen to these people. Ever. Ever. If you're an elite, you don't go. You don't get prison. Even when you blatantly break the law. Even when you lie to the police, when you lie to the public, when you lie to everybody, and flagrantly trying to hoax your way, just go ahead and have a hoax. A hoax that costs the taxpayers money, a hoax that could have ignited a race war. All of that doesn't matter because Jussie was on Empire or whatever. That's it. That's the reason, guys. Just remember that it's a shitty show on television is the reason that this guy is inoculated. A TV show. Okay. I've kind of one more story. I don't know. I don't know if we need to go through it really. It's just some shit. We only need to go through a couple episodes. Or not a couple episodes, a couple paragraphs. God damn it. Stupid Empire. Couple paragraphs of this Trump story. This is the new... This is the way. This is the way. America's 2020 election may already be irrevocably tainted. Analysis by Stephen Collinson with Caitlin Hugh. So hopefully Caitlin enjoyed it. Donald Trump may have already irrevocably tainted the 2020 election. Oh yes, Donald Trump did. Donald Trump did it. No other modern U.S. president has entered a re-election race claiming in advance that the result is likely to be massively corrupt and unfair. Trump falsely claims there's huge fraud in postal voting. A necessity in a pandemic? Hey, CNN. Citation fucking needed. Yeah, also claims of voter fraud in election campaigns go all the way back. Only all the way back to George Washington. But postal voting being a necessity in a pandemic? When have we done this? When have we ever voted by post? Postal voting being a primary voting mechanism. When has that become a necessity? We've had pandemics before. Postal voting being the primary mechanism has not been what we've done. But an equal threat to the vote's legitimacy may be the U.S. Postal Service's diminishing capacity to deliver all the mailed ballots on time. How on earth can the post office not deliver all the mailed ballots on time? How? How are we gonna argue that? Because they haven't even printed them yet? Yeah, that's not the post office's problem. Let's see. Let's see. After it removed post boxes, cut staff hours, and slowed mail under the direction of a new pro-Trump postmaster general. I mean, I would hope he's pro-Trump. He's in Trump's... Trump appointed him, right? Like, that makes sense. More funding might smooth election mail operations. No. No. Stop. Stop. Let the post office. The post office has access to every American as a customer, except for the homeless. Stop. Like, imagine, again, this is what the insurance companies tried to get. They tried to get it. They tried to get access to every American by law. The post office has access to every American who has an address anywhere. How do you not make money? How do you not make money? Oh, Trump doesn't even appoint the Postmaster General? Postal Board does. Same with the Deputy Postmaster General. Well, I guess that's that's the Postal Board's problem. But the president opposes granting that money because it would boost mail-in voting. Again, citation needed on this. This is, of course, an opinion piece, sort of. They call it analysis, but it's opinion. Quote, the Democrats know the 2020 election will be a fraudulent mess. We'll maybe never know who won, Trump tweeted on Saturday morning. Yeah, that's true. I think as they go through this, they lay out that we still don't actually know who won the Bush-Gore election, to point out what's going on. He is characteristically betting that the repeated telling of an audacious falsehood will make it stick. And as usual, it's clear he's thinking about his own benefit and not any deeper duty to protect America's democracy. You motherfuckers don't want to protect American democracy in any way. Because you know how you protect American democracy? It's really simple. Voter ID. Voter ID. If you want to secure the vote, tie every vote to an ID card. Issue the card. Don't make people pay for it. The state can pay for it. Send to I don't care. Secure the vote. Voter ID. If you want to vote, identify yourself. I believe only every other country on earth that votes uses voter ID. I'm pretty sure it's only all of them. I don't actually know. Maybe someone should check. But I believe it's basically all of them require identification to vote, so that you know who's voting, and they need one vote. That's it. This is ridiculous. But these people who are talking about upholding protecting America's democracy screech and shriek that voter ID is somehow unfair. This is insane. A question that would not even be asked of most previous Republican and Democrat presidents. This is a lie, by the way. This is an absolute lie. Not Democrat presidents as much, but are they seriously suggesting that George Bush would not be challenged about his desire or duty to protect American democracy, or Reagan? I mean, literally, or Bush Sr., they literally write articles about it all the time. Democrat Joe Biden is 9 points up in the latest national poll. Should he lose and refuse to accept defeat in November, Trump will not just fracture legitimacy of the election. He will destroy any hopes Biden may harbor of uniting the country against the pandemic. Since millions of the president's supporters will buy his claim he was cheated. Yeah, they will, because it kind of looks like there's going to be rampant cheating in the election. Remember, this is the party, the people, the group, the organization that has said for the past 4 years that the 2016 vote was illegitimate. That can't be overstated. They have said for the past 4 years that the vote was not legitimate. They just don't like the way the illegitimacy flowed that time. Let's see. If Trump wins, tens of millions of Democrats will believe that White House pre-election maneuvering stole the presidency. Okay. Let me just say it again. Okay. So what? Oh, so when someone wins, we've had this problem since 2000. Bush Gore, Bush Kerry, Obama McCain, and Obama Binders of Women Mitt Romney. We've had this problem since 2000, where the other side doesn't accept the victory of whoever wins. This isn't new. And they all think maneuvering stole the presidency. Hey, do we remember, by the way, did we remember that Obama, well, the Obama administration, maybe not Obama himself, sure, ordered a wiretap of then candidate Trump's presidential election campaign, that he was wiretapped with a FISA warrant? That the information in it was falsified? Like, do we forget this? Like, you want interference with the results? You wiretapped an opposition for the presidency. Yeah, not to mention the IRS. Not to mention what the IRS did, just going ahead and going after any pro-Trump organization, pro-Romney organizations as well, getting extra scrutiny, people being losing their 501c4 status, stuff like that. Nova Zero says, if Talcum X uses some of that talcum powder as part of his vote, I just got to say that calling this essential, stupid. I thought my country would do this first, being Australia. CNN journos for hood ornaments 2020 would outsell Trump. Damn. Okay. So let's see. Either way, trust in elections, the bedrock principle of democracy itself, will be catastrophically eroded. If elections were decided by votes, this is the next story, but this was right by where I am. That's hilarious. And this is true. What Trump says here, asked in July if he was the underdog in the presidential race, Trump pointed to his popularity among voters. You look at the intercoastal in Florida, you look at the lakes, you see thousands of boats with Trump signs. I haven't seen a Biden sign yet. I mentioned we took a boat to an island on Sunday. That was the day after this the boat parade thing, the flotilla. That was the next day. There are Trump signs everywhere. Everywhere. I have not seen a Biden sign. There are Trump signs everywhere. Here's another shot. They haven't officially counted the number of boats. So Guinness hasn't authorized it. They're going to engage in lies. Last week, Trump flirted with the racist conspiracy theory that Kamala Harris, California-born U.S. citizen, is not eligible to be vice president. It's not a racist conspiracy theory at all. A racist conspiracy theory would say that no one black is eligible to be president, or that Kamala Harris's blackness is what makes her ineligible to be president. That would be the racist conspiracy theory. The conspiracy theory is that she doesn't have legal status conferred to her as a natural-born citizen under the 14th Amendment. I will suggest very clearly and plainly, as I've done a couple times now, that that assessment is wrong. That you may want that to be the way it is. People may want the 14th Amendment to not confer citizenship unto someone born under her status, but that it does currently do that, and Kamala Harris is absolutely eligible to be the vice president of the United States under the existing law and under the Constitution as it has been interpreted by the Supreme Court. Now, all of us in the world can say that we don't want it to be that way, and we can move for change, and it will not change that she is eligible at the time of her birth under the law at that time. She just is. She just is. Brad DL, it doesn't matter if her parents were here as guest workers or not. The only way she would not be eligible under the U.S. law at the time of her birth, and including under current U.S. law, would be if her parents were foreign diplomats, Native Americans, or potentially Native Americans, or most importantly, foreign enemy combatants. And I'm pretty sure Jamaica and India were not at war with the United States in the 60s. So we don't have a foreign combatant situation. I'm pretty sure her parents were not foreign diplomats. That seems like that would be pretty easy to find out. They appear to just be normal people here on some sort of visa. And they met and had a Kamala Harris on U.S. soil, which would be, she would be subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S. and would be a natural-born citizen as we understand them to be and as we have understood them to be basically forever. Not really forever. It wasn't even a thing until 1957 for the most part. But that being said, no. Guest workers are under the jurisdiction of the United States. They are conferred constitutional rights, just like everybody else. It is not something we should be wasting our time arguing. You just shouldn't do it. It's a waste. It's a huge waste of time. And also, and again, we may not like how the law works. I personally don't care, but some people may not like how citizenship is conferred by birth. They don't like anchor babies, for example, to use a pejorative term. That's fine. Get Congress to define anchor babies as non-citizens. That would be something that would be, if that is an issue that's important to you, that's how you would deal with that. But even if they change that law today, Kamala Harris would still be a viable anchor baby vice president. There's just no way to do it. We don't allow bills of attainder. We don't allow ex post facto laws to go into place. And at the time that Kamala Harris was born, she would be considered a natural born citizen as we understand it. How is it a conspiracy theory? Because people think that she isn't. I don't, and because calling it a conspiracy theory is more sensational than calling it an improper legal assessment. Biden's ticket mate isn't surprised at all. She told the Griot on Saturday, "I'm very clear-eyed about the fact they're going to engage, as you said, in what they have done throughout his administration, which is, let's just be very candid and straightforward, they're going to engage in lies. They're going to engage in deception." Well, so are you, bitch. Of course you are. You're politicians. You all lie. You all deceive. That's how you get elected. And that's it on the Trump stuff. This is all, that's all other crap. So anyway, you know, I actually don't like reporting on Trump stuff very often, but I really wanted to just kind of hammer home on this stuff about how they're setting the stage. Like, by the way, they're the ones fostering the idea that the election will be illegitimate. That's what this entire article was dedicated to, and trying to somehow blame Trump for their article. But anyway, all right. Well, that's what we've got for tonight. Oh man, we've already been going almost 3 hours. Had a lot of technical issues at the front end of the show, which is why it took so long to get started. Let me go ahead and read the super chats, and we'll wrap up the show. And then there will be a watch party tonight. Like I said like I said earlier, if you missed it, I will be starting a Space Marine single player campaign playthrough tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be doing a single player playthrough of Space Marine, which is a fantastic game. Let's see. Brian Dewig says, how does California's attempt to tax anyone who left California in the past 10 years fly against ex post facto? I don't know that it would work against people who have already left. I think it would have to work against people who leave after the law goes into effect. First Last, no, I didn't give up on Risk of Rain 2, but I can only play Space Marine from either this laptop or my old desktop. And I don't really feel like remote streaming it to my new desktop at home when I'm home. So since I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and play Space Marine and try and play through it while I'm here in Florida on stream for you guys, and see if I can go ahead and finish it up, which shouldn't be too difficult. It's not the longest campaign, but the only reason I'm not playing it tonight is because I don't like... It's a multitude of things based on how my portable setup is, but I cannot comfortably play with the keyboard on this laptop. So I need to acquire a keyboard that I can use to play Space Marine on this laptop. The laptop keyboard, because of the chair I'm using and stuff like that, gets really, really uncomfortable, and I don't really feel like having an uncomfortable left hand while playing. So I'll get a keyboard solution tomorrow, and then I will play some Space Marine. But yeah, should be fun times. Should be fun times. DocShock, $20 at Walgreens, actually on sale for $11.99 right now. I was probably going to do that. I will not play it with an Xbox controller. Did I talk about the mail already? A little bit. Kind of. I don't know. It's just everybody's fighting over the post office. It's kind of wrapped up in the story we were going to do. There's some more articles on it I may look at, but I'm not going to do it tonight. So, what movie tonight? I think we're going to do Blue Mountain State Season 2 or Gleaming the Cube. Which one? Let's start with Gleaming the Cube. Gleaming the Cube. Christian Slater. I think 1985 or 87. I can't remember. Something like that. And then we might do an episode of Blue Mountain State next after that. So, should be fun. Should be fun. I know, Angry Baneling, your country hates watch parties. All right. Let's do the super chats, and then we will wrap up. Where are we going? No. No. What happened? Did it get... Oh, you son of a... Motherfucker. Sometimes Streamlabs just... Sometimes Streamlabs just cuts off the history. Just a second. Oh, good. Thanks. Oh, I hate... All right, I got to find out where it cut off. All been today, right? Okay, here we go. It just cut off everything beyond an hour ago, just randomly. Just decided that I didn't want it, you know. So here we go. The Pie Baker. No, wait. Leetman says, just got here. You going to HawaiiCon next month? HawaiiCon isn't happening next month. HawaiiCon, I believe, has gone virtual. So no, I will not be going. And it's due, I believe, to the travel restrictions that were put out. I would love to go, but it's just not going to work out. So next year is the plan. Next year is the plan. The Pie Baker says, Nick, they don't call the FBI Cybercrimes Division. They call DHS. And I thought you were a lawyer. You done goofed. I would call the FBI Cybercrime Division. But that's me. Not every con has gone virtual. Apparently, UltraCon in Miami will not be virtual. It's apparently going to be in person in Miami the end of this month, and I don't think I can go. Vic will be there, however. Vic will be there. So you guys can check it out. Malik Foxon says, FBI. Boom, boom, boom. FBI, open up. What? I was the one that filed the report. We know. We're bringing you in for spreading so much soy in our inbox that it was enough to constitute some sort of crime. Knocks down the door, guns blazing. Silky Johnson says, Nick, what is the point of swearing an oath for perjury before Congress if nothing happens? At that inquiry, all of them lied repeatedly, so why have a deterrent if it is never used? Fuck Apple and Epic. Both are tools of asshole China and deserve the worst. That is true, but oh, not Miami, Palm Beach County. Okay. Matsuri did go virtual. Andrew, I don't know what you're talking about there. If it had not gone virtual, I would have been there. But yeah, good job, asshole China. Yeah, they're both terrible. And you can get in trouble for lying under oath to Congress, but no one ever does. You're right. Bad Dragonite says, these people have more simple batteries than the Energizer Bunny. Makes sense, though. They seem like a bunch of potatoes. Mercenary X says, sorry, Nick, but I couldn't be convinced Snowden, he is a good guy in any way, shape, or form unless the Democrats want him dead. Or leftists, globalists in general. If that is the case, then yeah, give him the protection he needs. And then he also says, speaking of Portland, wouldn't this guy LARPing as a police officer be violating civil rights under color of law? And in doing so, wouldn't that whole thing include possible death penalty? There was the guy's wife and a trans person the guy tried to protect. Only if he, you know, he's not going to get a death penalty for assault. So I'd say no. I don't know how to convince people on Snowden that he did the right thing. I know there were some bad results. Some people say that he compromised some, you know, military personnel and stuff like that. Actually, he didn't. the New York Times did, because they failed to redact things properly. Snowden was pretty cautious in what he released. And he released probably, I think the estimates are about 1% of what he had. And the reason that he only released 1% of what he had, according to him, is that the other stuff was sensitive and was basically kind of an insurance policy to prove that he wasn't lying, or that the government didn't just say, oh, he's making all this up. He grabbed some sensitive stuff along with it. That said, that stuff hasn't been released because it contains sensitive information. Again, you have to go watch my video on Snowden. You can make up your own mind on him, but he was right. He was correct. Our rights were being infringed on a minutely basis. Still are, not as much, but once he leaked stuff, once he blew the whistle, the government changed pretty dramatically. And that's something that can't be overstated. And also, big tech changed as well, because big tech was complicit in the government's intrusions into your stuff, and then they stopped being complicit. And that's a good thing. Even if big tech is just opportunist assholes, they are less complicit in government surveillance than they were because of Snowden. So, anyway, Bad Dragonite says, oh my God, look at those orc bandits attacking that innocent traveler. Come on. Malik Foxon says, this video is making me so angry, Nick. Bunch of fucking pieces of shit mobbing a guy who isn't fighting back, and they fucking knock him out. Why do people do this? Because they're terrible. I just can't fathom the mindset you have to be in to treat another human like that. Me either, buddy. Silky Johnson says, Nick, why can't the leaders be punished for the inaction that allows multiple people to be beaten or almost killed? Is their inaction a violation of the oath they take to uphold the law and keep the citizens safe? When the commies turn on them, no sympathy. You should have no sympathy when the commies turn on them, but their inaction, all of that, how do they held accountable? Votes. Vote them out. They won't, but that's what they should do. Fire in the Butthole says, Nick, I live in Ohio and I have a friend who has a 4th-degree felony of arson that is almost 20 years old. It is considered a violent crime and cannot be expunged. Because of that, is there a way for them to restore their gun rights? Thank you for any help. It really depends on how Ohio's pardon process works. Sometimes you can get a pardon from the governor, and sometimes, depending on how the state does pardons, you can get your firearms rights restored based on a pardon. If you can't get an expungement, then there's no way other than a pardon, generally speaking. Crusader Saracen says, if Trump is smart, and I believe he is, so I expect this soon, I expect to see the footage of this attack running on ads from here to November. Black Lives Matter coming to your city if Biden wins. Really emphasize the guy yelling Black Lives Matter too. Also says, I'd bet my left nut that if Chicago PD actually bought into Smollett's BS, that Smollett would have actually pointed the finger at 2 innocent guys to perpetuate the lie. Yeah, me too. To hell with him. May Allah inflict upon him and the DA every kind of cancer. Is Allah the inflictor of cancer? There you go. That's good. Crusader Saracen also says, I believe there should be a federal eat shit statute where anyone leaving Portland, Chicago, New York City, Minneapolis, or Seattle should be forced to stay there and eat the shit they voted for instead of spreading it. Reap what you have sown and burn. And then finally says, clarification, the Postmaster General is not actually appointed by Trump, but is appointed by an independent council. Trump has no say in who is picked. And thank you for the correction. Nightwave Radio says you keep wild hours. Is that Mersh? How's it going, man? If that's you, of course, thank you. I mean, whoever it is, thank you. But if that's actually Nightwave Radio, thank you particularly to you. Mario Carter 13 says, you haven't truly lost until your anus loose. Come on. Gawker's Death Rattle says, my anus was not prepared. Come on. Anus is a nice guy. Oh, hey, what's up? That is you. Nice to see you, buddy. I do keep wild hours. It keeps me asleep through the morning. But we got to grab that drink, man. Literally everyone says, how are you able to pass the bar but not able to start a stream on time? Because I broke my mic. I didn't have to use a mic for the bar. I used typing. You can call me. Al says, I've been out of the loop for a few months. Is Medicare still alive? I don't know. I don't know if he is or not. I hope so. But I don't think he's really doing any video stuff right now. I think he might be tweeting. Angry Baneling says, fixed, still not live. What is this boomerism? Listen, we don't need to talk about that. Bad Vibe says, Nick, you look like a talking head. Neck down, you blend in with the door behind you. It's not a door, it's a window. It's shutters on a window. I know. I'm wearing a white shirt today, but I'm so sunburned that my shirt actually looks pink, which is kind of sad. Bad Vibe says, you are a rock lobster. Very much. It's really bad. Angry Baneling says, woo lad, look at this lateness, still not live. The Bad Burrito says, even your hair looks burnt. Sun poisoning. I don't know. I don't know what that even is. Little Jimmy says, welcome to Florida, Nick. Your #1 Tampa fan. Hey, Little Jimmy, how's it going? I'm pretty close by. Pretty close by. Bad Vibe says, welcome to BoomerCom, the original econ that no one knew was a thing, every weekday at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, unless the Uber Boomer power levels are achieved. So, thank you. Yes, that's true. Little Jimmy says, Nick, you've been day drinking. No, I haven't. Sakaki owns... Well, I had a small glass of sake at the Basil Leaf restaurant I went to tonight. So, I guess I did. I did day... Well, it was evening. It was like 9. Does that count? Sakagi Onsai says, oh, you don't like lotion? Get the hoses. Mega Emulator Man says, any update on the Vic case? I haven't caught up on it in a couple of months. Yeah, the update is on the 22nd of September. The appeals court will take it under advisement. That's it. And then it could be 1 day to several months after that we get a ruling. We'll have to see. No way to know. Cree Rose says, what about giving an 18-year-old drugs and alcohol? Don't. I don't know if the 18-year-old matters for the drugs bit. I think you shouldn't give anybody drugs. Alcohol, probably not. Probably not. Don't do that. It's usually not recommended legal action. Skeetneed says, my autism is hell, Nick. You don't know what kind of troubles I'm in. Sugar lips, brown nips. No, I don't. Ratchet2505 says, how far can the Dems take it in court about post? Like what, the post office? I have no idea. We'll have to see. They can usually make a big stink out of it that'll waste a bunch of taxpayer money. Mario Carter 13 says, Nick was tongue-in-cheek, Ralph was tonguing cheeks. Gross. Bro Tato says, Mr. Toye, I can provide you alternate ways to destroy your enemies. I can make sharks with freaking laser beams descend upon your detractors. Just wire me $1 million. Bad Vibe says, this super chat sponsored by Don't Talk to the Cops and Don't Mess with Other People's Lives. Other considerations provided by Point and Laugh. No one important. No one important says, have you seen this Alex Moore chick and all these other VAs just spazzing over this pirating anime stuff? They're shooting themselves in the foot. Funny thing is, because the American voice actors are so stupid collectively, and such a spineless and weak class of people, they shouldn't even care if anime is pirated because they don't get royalties from it. They don't make any money off of viewings or sales of the anime or any licensing of it. So they get their pennies for voicing it, and then they have to do all of the other independent work. They're just so incompetent. All they have to do is organize at all, unless they're afraid that they're completely replaceable, which they are. 200 Watt Studio says, here's $2 towards you investing in better internet. I don't pay for this internet. I'm like a VA or whatever. Mario Carter 13 says, protesters glow in the dark, so shift out of park. Nice. Bad Dragonite says, imagine if people said a militant group of KKK. It's hard to distinguish the difference. Oh, I heard a bunch of Antifas got beat up at Sturgis, and that makes me really happy. Douglas Nelson says, thanks for covering the Annis versus Star Trek case. Yeah, hopefully, you know, on that, just a final thought on that. Hopefully it brought Annis some attention. I do believe that they stole some of his ideas. I think they did. I think the argument is not whether or not they did. The argument was whether or not it would be actionable under copyright. The courts say no. Because of that, I really hope that he gets some notoriety and publicity for his game. If that's an outcome that works for him, that would be great. Angry Baneling says, get Andy on the show. That would be a great stream. I'll have to see what I can do. Silva Luca says, at what point, if any, is there enough precedent from past assaults to justify defending yourself with lethal force upon merely encountering BLM Tifa? That is a very good question. The Antifa at Sturgis was fake news? Aww. No, I hope not. But, yeah, I guess it depends where you are. Any self-defense situation is going to be entirely fact-specific. And the reasonableness is always going to be in question. Are you reasonably in fear for your personal safety? If you are, it depends on if you're justified in using deadly force under the statute of the state you're in. You gotta check it out. Like, you've got to look into your state laws and see how they hold up on your self-defense claims. 200 Watt Studio says, I'm reading that the truck driver has passed away. Again, it doesn't appear to be the case from the information I'm seeing, but it's possible. Bad Vibe says, wouldn't it be armed theft? Maybe. I'm not familiar with Oregon theft statutes, but it's possible. I've got a nasty lightning storm here. Dark Star Magnolia says, does he have any grounds for a civil suit against the town or cops for not protecting him and allowing this to happen? I would think that he might want to do that. I would think that that might be a thing. In theory, no, but you know, we're in sort of unprecedented times here. 200 Watt Studio says Nikki passed away, the truck driver. Again, I don't know if I think that might be fake. Hurtbox TV says, not only can he have severe head trauma, but the medics tried to help him after by not maintaining C7 and mobilizing the spine, which could kill him. Nice medics. Tamara Holloway says, Run DMC's Jam Master J's killers caught. He was a big coke dealer. They tried to cut his boy out of selling 10 kilos, so him and his dude killed JMJ. Really? When was this? 200 Watt Studio says, really? I read that he passed away. Hope I'm wrong. Yeah, I hope you're wrong too, because I hope he's alive. But Spank Daddy says, I looked up the official statement earlier, and Andy No tweeted out, that was his last tweet of the evening, was that he was recovering. Spank Daddy says, hey Nick, have you been keeping track of the National Lawyers Guild? No, they're one of the groups bailing out Antifa rioters, and they have chapters all across the country. They sound like terrible, terrible people. Any guild of lawyers is a guild that deserves to burn to the ground. Justin Bentley says, voting by mail is how it's done in Washington State, and our elections function great. Now, where'd they put that pile of ballots? Barb Rogers, Little Miss Sunburn says, 2020 is a clear vision. It's not by accident. Alfred McKay says, I worked at the last election, and in Canada, it is obligatory to show an ID in order to vote. I don't understand why the U.S. still don't ask for it. Many of us want it. It's apparently racist. Rich Jammer says, free lollies to sniff for everyone. I'm Joe Biden, and I support this message. Free lollies to sniff for everyone. I'm Joe Biden, and I support this message and Donald Trump. Bad Vibe says, is removal of statute of limitations on crimes a form of ex post facto? It should be. It should be. What would have been off limits for charges prior to the law, now able to be charged? It should be. And that's an argument that should be made depending on when the crime was committed and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think there may be a split of authority on that. I'll have to look into it. Let's see. Rogue says target rich scenario in Minecraft. Yes. David Bowser says, have you played 40K Space Hulk Deathwing? I have. Fun game. I played it on Twitch a couple times. Mr. Schwagan says, who is that guy that wore the tux to the bunny ranch? Russell Greer. Fantastic individual. Xander's Rant says, Nick, since I've been doing the watch party, now I got to the point where I can't fall asleep until 8 a.m. Been trying to fix that the last week, but still unable to sleep from 3 to 8. Sigh, any tips? Also, will you think about John MacArthur lawsuit? Yeah, I'll think about it. No tips. Sorry, man. I don't know how to do just a tip. No, I'm kidding. I can't sleep at night anymore either because of the show. Mercenary X says, sorry, Nick. I meant to say I think Snowden had ill intent. Very much wanted to do what he did on Waters. I think you mean on orders of someone else. The man's actions may have been righteous in your eyes, but I'm looking at stuff from behind the scenes that seems to be more insidious. Look, I can't think of an insidious purpose behind exposing the fact that our government's violating its constitution. So, that being said, that's the end of the show tonight, except for one thing. Let me do this. Let me do this. How do I do this? Multimedia. Is this it? No. Delete that. Here we go. Play. No, that's not what I want either. Where is it? Where is it? Play audio here. Ooh. This is the one I want. Replace. I'm working on something. Here it comes. Just a minute. Booty looks soft. Mind if I touch it? There we go. Okay. I think we've got it. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. If you want to come over to Twitch, come over to Twitch. We will be watching Gleaming the Cube. So, come join us. Should be a fun time. And there's the outro. I got it fixed. Yay! I'm going to be in Florida for most of this month. All right, guys. We will see you on Twitch or tomorrow. Malik Foxen says, I forgot to mention, got a new job. I start next week. Getting paid nearly double what I used to. Can't tell if I'm the diversity hire, but it sure worked in my favor. Cheers anyway. Won't be able to watch you live much anymore, though, due to new schedule. Aw, it's too bad, man. I'll miss you, but thanks for hanging out and congrats on the new job. All right, guys. Have a good night. Peace. Peace.
Idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an art, bang a bow, more of love, the spirits flow as get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Dante to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're